San Jose, California. Came out here to pick up a body that's from California and won't be all rusted. And the price of fuel out here is $4 a gallon. And the brakes aren't working very well. And it's going to be a long trip back to Wisconsin. When you're selling a car, don't you think you should clean out all the junk? The car should be topped off with oil. It's a porthole. It's dripping oil. Hopefully you don't have to keep dumping oil into this thing on the wheel.
Holes in the trunk there where they need to be. It's going to need a little bit of rust repair, but not too bad. Missing a grill piece. Grills are cracked. Fenders and doors are completely solid. Just stoved in right there. Looking at this hood on the bottom side, and it is completely clean. Most likely a Olds 350, leaking oil pretty good. Got an MSD box in it, don't like that for a long trip. Has the regular battery, and he had a second one installed for some reason.
For the stereo.
Yeah, there's kind of a crappy stereo in here. We missed something on the inspection. I'll show you this.
Oh yeah.
He covered up a big hole in the package tray, but that ain't the end of the world. We can patch it. So the master cylinder rear portion doesn't have any fluid in it. We're going to go to the auto parts store, see if we can get these wheel cylinders bled out in the parking lot.
Yeah, you'd think, like, even in Wisconsin, we got a car, parts store on every damn corner. We're out in San Jose, California, and you gotta drive just to find a place to just get some car parts. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, somebody put a stupid steering wheel on there, and there's a ratcheting shifter in there. That's going to go. This swivel bucket here isn't even locking. We're definitely outdoing ourselves on this trip.
These big Cannon exhaust tips are kind of funky looking. Alright, we gotta check the radiator, and it's hot. There. It's empty. Well, I'm checking the radiator, and bone dry. Bone dry. So fill that thing up for about 3 minutes straight, right?
Yeah.
And then we went and got a gallon of antifreeze. So at least we got a jug. If it runs out, we can walk someplace to get more water. I don't know where you find water here. It's just a desert. And then trying to get out of the city. The traffic is ridiculous. The Garmin doesn't work. So we had to get a map. And now we're just getting going down the freeway, and we're headed towards Sacramento. A lot of businesses that are just being built, or else they've gone broke and they're empty. Can't even find a place to buy some car parts.
We're stuck in rush hour traffic or something here, and the brakes are really bad. We're gonna have to try to bleed them out somewhere if we can find an auto parts store.
It's beautiful weather out here, but there's too many people that know about it and want to live in this type of weather, and it's crowded. The roads are just fantastic here. You're just gliding along.
We're just getting into the Sierra Nevadas here. Hopefully we get some scenery for you.
Yeah, it's just like you're going through a tunnel of trees. There's so many evergreens, it's ridiculous. So the temperature changed drastically, and now it's starting to rain. We were in hot summer weather, and all of a sudden she cooled off, eh? Got the windows closed. The seals don't exactly seal on the doors, so there's wind making noise. But this area is really beautiful. We're high enough now where we're in the clouds. And my ears popped and hurt like all hell. gets way too wet, then all of a sudden a big boulder comes sliding down here. I mean, that would knock you right off the road. So I don't know if it's like this every day or if it's because it's a rainy weather and the rocks are hot and then the cold water from the rain is hitting the mountains, but kind of like what they call the Smoky Mountains down south. This car is doing exactly what it was designed to do back in 1973. And now all these cars that are 2018 that have overdrive and fuel injection, I mean, they can go zooming past us. This thing, you could tell, you could feel in the gas pedal climbing up the mountain. And then as soon as we got to the top, he could just let his foot off the throttle and maintain the same speed. We found a place that has air. So we put air in the air shocks. We got spare tires. So we put air in the spare tires, and we had forgot the gas cap at the gas station. This guy was nice enough to give us another gas cap. So we thought we were getting fumes from the gas can that I found at the old gas station, and we put a gallon in here because our gas gauge doesn't work. Nothing worse than being out of gas. And if we could put 1 gallon in, we might get another 10 miles and make it to a gas station. And we got antifreeze and brake fluid. So the next thing we want to do is stop at Napa or O'Reilly and figure out what's going on with the brakes. We try to bleed them, and if we have to, we got a 4-way wrench, we got the jack, we might have to take the brakes apart and put a new wheel cylinder in it. Now that we got the air in the air shocks, it feels a lot better. We're going to take another gas mileage reading. We hope that the more gas we run through this thing, it'll probably be getting the same gas mileage as what they did back in 1973. We are going down a steep descent. And I just can't imagine what this was like for the settlers to come out here. We just went through Donner Pass. And if you ever took history class, the Donner Pass was when that group of people led by a man named Donner took too long and they were going too slow, and then the snowstorm started coming down and they couldn't get over this area and they couldn't keep going, and they ended up succumbing to starvation, and they had to resort to taking the people that were dying, and then they cut the flesh off their legs, and then they were cannibalizing the people that died just so they could survive. We're coming into Reno, Nevada. And we're thinking of driving downtown, checking out all the casinos. It's starting to get dark now. Our headlights are like pointed down at the ground. We'd be over driving at 40 miles an hour. We're gonna crash in Reno tonight. Been up since 2 in the morning. And the hole in the rear package tray that's wide open allows sound to come through it. I'd like to just put a rug over it. We never did get the stereo to work. So it's becoming an adventure. You get the Sir of Circus. Big tall buildings.
We're losing brake fluid in the front reservoir now. We gotta do something before we go through the Rockies. So we snuck into this car wash here. It's adjacent to O'Reilly's. And we're gonna see if we can find the leaks and get these brakes back online. This side here doesn't really look like it's leaking too bad, if it is. Shitty jack in the trunk of the car and a 4-way luckily. The trunk in this car is looking beautiful. It's possible that this master itself is bad too. So I'm gonna get some tools, probably a master, and then we'll go from there. You can see this wheel cylinder is leaking. I mean, it's not terrible bad, but we're not gonna take any chances at 10 bucks a piece. These pads are both cracked. They're probably over adjusted.
We're at Reno, Nevada, in a parking lot. Got shagged out of one already, and now we got all new wheel cylinders in the back, master cylinder, and we're bleeding front calipers right now. As we took off the center caps, we're just going to leave them off. It looks a little bit tougher.
We're finally getting some pedal, and we decided to get a grease gun because these ball joints look dry as a cob. Heard a lot of creaking from up front here. Look at that sway bar bushing.
So we're leaving Reno right now. Have full confidence in our brakes, but now we're worried about tie rod ends. They were really sketchy, and they didn't even have parts this old at the O'Reilly's Auto Parts. So we got to take it easy on driving still, because you wouldn't want a tie rod end coming apart at speed. The United States is so huge. There's so much various types of landscape, and the people are the same everywhere you go. You wouldn't believe how many people came up and talked to us while we were working on the car. They all got memories of old cars, and they want to tell you what they did when they were in high school and what cars they had. So now we are out of the mountains, and you can tell it's going to be flat for a while. Put a new air cleaner on it. The old one was totally packed, and maybe we'll get another mile to the gallon.
It's next morning, and this car has a pretty horrendous oil leak. It's almost like the Trans Am road trip revisited, except not quite as bad. It's coming out of the front somewhere. We don't know if it's coming out of that fuel pump or what, but we're having to add about maybe a quarter quart every stop, so it's not terrible bad. It doesn't really seem like it's getting on the exhaust either, so it hasn't been burning out the back.
First night, when we needed to get a place to crash, we went into Reno, and when you don't know where you're going, and you're cruising through this area, and it's all casinos and stuff, they're all glitz and glamour, and you get past one road, and all of a sudden, boom, everything changed, and it's like, get us out of here! And we're going through a back alley, and there's homeless people and druggies and stuff. I go, let's go find a decent place to crash, and we're up and we find a casino, the El Dorado. And when you check in, $118, but you got guards that are watching the elevator, so not any loser can just go up to the place where people are renting a spot. You got a key card to get in, and you walk in, the place is beautiful. They got bottled water there for you. They got a little coffee machine for you. You got little lotions and shampoos and stuff. So we're just two dudes just trying to crash and get some sleep. We're gonna save some money. When we left there, now we're in a place before Salt Lake City. It's called Wendover, and I said, let's just get a motel type place. And we pull it, it's $50. Now this place must have been abandoned for a while, and somebody's freshening it up a bit, to make some cash, because it looks like a dude is fixing it up himself, and there's not enough light. My bed had jit stains all over it. We're checking it for bed bugs, and it's just from the 50s, and probably they ran its course, and then it sat vacant. And the TV, I turned it on, it's just You come in here, you can tell a lot of times when people get kicked out of their house and then they're living in a motel and the guy's mad at his old lady and bashing punch holes through it. There's really cheap window. And you'd think if you had electricity right here, they'd have something in here that you could have an exhaust fan. These are those real cheap little tin sliders. And you take a shower and it's just a fog of mist. And the plumbing on the shower goes the opposite. You know, it's cold and then hot the other way. We got a fluorescent light here. And there's just mold around every joint. Like the guy didn't do a very good job of putting the grout in there and the mold, the caulking. But it doesn't matter. We were only in here for a couple hours to crash. So we just left Wendover, and this is the site of where the first transcontinental telephone line was connected. It was 1914. So this is pretty historic here. We're at a rest area in front of the Bonneville Salt Flats, and this sign was put up in '72. But they're talking about 10 miles of racetrack, and they put a black line down the middle, and you can't even see from one end to the other because of the curvature of the earth, and the mountains are a backdrop to it. It tells the history of who set the records. Craig Breedlove was a guy that was back in the early parts of hot rod history, and he made his with jet power. 600 miles an hour, and all the jets are in the, they're going faster than that now. But the piston-powered engines are like around 450 miles an hour. And there's a guy named George Poteet that holds that record right now. I think some English guy has 3 jet engine type vehicles, really heavy. They only get to race here once a year. And the problem with Bonneville right now is that the salt production isn't enough to withstand the type of racing. They're pounding this thing to hell when they're going that fast. You can see these places alongside the freeway that are manufacturing the salt. When they take the salt away, then the surface doesn't get thicker. So it's not good for racing, but people are making money off the salt.
Paul's gonna stick his tongue in this water right here.
You can see it just must rain or whatever, and all the alkaline salt must rinse out of the ground or something. 8 o'clock. When I think, if you ever want to check out a movie called The Fastest Indian with Anthony Hopkins, that he came all the way from Australia, then to come here and set a land speed record with an old jalopy Indian. He made his own pistons and stuff, and he had tires that were dry rotted. It's a good movie to check out. So to get through these roads in Salt Lake City, you gotta meander through all the valley. So it's a windy road, but I'm talking steep uphill. For the guys that had to drill and mount all those utility poles, had to be a ton of work. This is just really steep. This vehicle has 273 gears. It'd be nice if we had something just between second and third. 'Cause, I mean, we got Ford Super Duties that are hauling stuff that pass us up. Uphill. To the Devil's Tower. If you stop here and you're headed toward the place where you can go see Devil's Tower, you got these plaques here that tell you the history of what happened. Plains Indians had a old tale of these 6 girls that were being chased by a bear, and they went into a hole, and then all of a sudden something lifted them up. Bears were scratching down the side because there's big grooves down the side. And then other people that have, the white men that have found it, they tell a history of that. And then they talk about the people that were the first ones to find this, and some guys knocked footsteps into it and they climbed it. And other people that are better at rock climbing, they've done it in 1937. And you can go all the way to the foot of the place, but it's $20. We're too cheap to drive all the way up there. And it's not the right kind of weather right now. It's starting to rain, and it's going to be turning to snow, so we got to get a move on. So it's amazing how somebody had the wherewithal to do this way back in the 40s, I think, and I remember being here once before, and they showed pictures of the process of him making it. And sometimes the air hose that he had to chisel would come apart, and he'd have to climb all the way back down to rehook it back up. And then they used a lot of dynamite to blow stuff out of the way. But he was an artist that made statues, and then he got the contract to do this.
Who was it?
Borglum, Gutzen, Borglum. Oh, a chunk off the mountain. We ended up stopping in a town called Murdo, South Dakota, and there's a car museum here. You can see some stuff out front, but most of it's hidden where you got to pay to go in and look at it. And if you ever watch American Pickers, they came here and they got the cycle car, and up on their sign to try to draw you in is this extended car. One thing I noticed in South Dakota, they got Sinclair gas stations. We haven't had a Sinclair gas station in Wisconsin in so long. Yeah, we used to climb all over these things when we were kids.
Well, we made it back. It was somewhat of a harrowing trip because that front end was really loose on this car. Springs are all wore out. And I think we went through like 12 or 13 quarts of oil that it leaked out. The whole passenger side of the car was just caked in oil. The car is going to need some work up here on the these rear window pillars on both sides. They probably rusted through and were leaking or patched kind of shoddily. Fender's got a dent in it. But overall the car is in pretty darn good shape. I did do a VIN and body tag decode to it. This Car was originally a vinyl saddle colored interior. Swivel bucket seat car with console. Car was originally Mayan gold. Dual exhaust car also. Small block 350. I do believe it is a true 442. It's got the correct grills. We don't have a build sheet to prove that yet. There might be one above the gas tank, I don't know. But it's got the sway bar on it. And for this year, the 442 option was basically a emblem, decal, and handling package. This car originally had a 6060 paint code and looked just like this car here. Nice looking machine. Originally we wanted to paint it like this car. I think either will look good. What do you guys think? I was just pressure washing that big oil mess off of this, and their paint job was coming right off. You can see all that original gold and some of the blue over the gold. Got to give this car credit. We took a 45-year-old car that was sitting, previous owner wasn't driving it, and drove it across the country. I don't know that in 45 years from now you'll be able to take a 2018 car and do that with computers and sensors and whatnot. And that's even if gasoline cars are still around then. And if you haven't figured it out yet, we're going to ship this 74 down the road and then shift over to the 73. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.